And good evening and welcome to TGP1 Season 33, Round 17 and 18. And this time we're at the USA and we've got everyone's favourite little circuit as the second round, Monaco. Not really, everyone hates it, especially myself. As you can see, there's 4 minutes to go. Pretty much everyone's in a good little order, good little rhythm at the moment. Everyone is in the pits other than Kyle, who is on a fast lap at the moment. We're actually going to watch Kyle as he does come round the final corner, obviously onto the main straight. He's currently in P10 and he goes actually to P4, so that's a really good lap from him. 31.7. I will point out at the moment, as we're actually going to go with Corey on his out lap, obviously watch him on board on the T-Cam on his fast lap. Pole last season was a 30.8 by Matt Tibos, and it was actually a full 8/10 quicker than the two drivers behind, which I think was Risky Racer somehow, don't know how, and myself in third place. So it's a lot closer this season, which is fantastic to see. But yeah, it was still a big interesting qualifying session, let's say. So we've got a good qualifying session coming up. We've got actually Dan the Man is in P2 at the moment, so he'll be very happy with that. Will he stay there? That is another question. But here we go then. Corey onto the main straight on his potential final lap, second last lap. Obviously he's in overtake, as we can see in the bottom right hand corner. Obviously 7th gear. Obviously he keeps it in 7th gear. He doesn't go to 8th. Obviously he just gets that bit of extra engine braking going into turn 1, which is quite nice. Doesn't get obviously any wiggliness out of turn 1. He's actually got a racing point ahead of him, so that's going to be either Panos or Robo Jeep, and it looks like the car ahead is relatively slow, and it does look like it is Robo Jeep, and Robo Jeep gets out the way. He's actually gone purple first sector, so that's good. He actually needs to make these laps count. He runs a bit wide there, but it does not invalidate his lap, which is obviously questionable, but no, we're not going to focus on that today. Yeah, he needs to make his lap count, because if he doesn't, he's going to be starting a bit further back. He's getting it well so far. Again, purple middle sector. What is he going to do coming up to the second split, going into sector 3? We are going to see. And I will actually say, Machine Fishy currently on pole position. He's found some pace yet again. He was actually complaining, at least for Monaco, as he does actually go purple middle sector, does Corey. Machine Fishy was complaining about his controller stopped turning through the hairpin at Monaco, so he'll be hoping that is fixed for that race, or that will be his title chances pretty much down the drain, barring any mistakes from Corey. So we'll wait until we get to Monaco though, and we'll see. I'll have a look on board probably in qualifying, but here we go then. Corey round the final corners. I can't say anything because of that sun is absolutely blinding, hence why I hate this this time of day. And Corey, I would say, probably will go on to pole position, and he does a 30.8, so he will go slightly slower than what he did, or what the pole position was obviously last season, of course. But we're now with Roy Jovial Manatee, the Sea Cow himself, number 56 in this race and this week in his Haas, and it does show that he went purple middle sector. I'm not too sure that's accurate, to be honest with yourself, but we will see what his lap time is come the end of this lap. He's not invalidated it as of yet, which is good to see. I think I'd say it's quite hard to invalidate around this circuit, bar the S's in sector 1. But here we go then, round the final few corners. Takes quite doesn't really go hard onto the curbs there. He's actually quite avoid them. He's 14th at the moment. He goes to P12, so he improves by half a second there. And we're actually going to now go with Machine Fishy. Obviously, he loves a bit of a machine. He is 1 point ahead of Corey going into this week's races, of course. So it's very important. He did, I think, have a 20-something point lead, 25-point lead, I think it was, before last week's races. And, the bad results have really cost him yet again, sadly. So it's obviously swaying from Corey to Machine Fishy as Magic Poop Cannon has retired. He is 18th at the moment, and so is Speed Knighton, obviously. So I'm not too sure obviously if that was just a case of both retiring at the same time. And Machine Fishy has gone purple middle sector, so he is looking on course at this point in time to go into P1 provisionally, and this is going to be his only lap, whereas Corey, I think, maybe probably either on another lap, or that's him done and dusted as well. And Corey, I am hearing, is pitting, as we can see on the map as well there. So Corey is done. So Machine Fisher then round the final corner is going to get pole position. We're going to find it. Here we go, across the line, and he goes. He doesn't improve. He improves by 2 attempts, but not quite there. And Aidan Griffin's then, obviously, round the final few corners in his Red Bull, of course. Obviously, and getting blinded by that sun once again. Round the final corners, I think John or Kyle has actually just completed a lap. I think it was Kyle, and Aidan goes to P3, so that's good for him. obviously displacing Dan the Man, who is going to be no better than P4, so that's fine there. And then Roy is on a lap. He is doing 2 laps on this set of tyres. I'm not too sure the logic there. I always try and keep it to 1, but you know, I'm not the one that's racing at the moment. I'm commentating instead around the final few corners, and as Andy has retired, obviously from P11, so respective in Roy does jump into the pits there, and J. Luke also setting a second lap on these tyres. Is he going to improve? I think he's probably, he's not really going fast, it looks like, but we'll see what the counter at the top right says. And yeah, I think he's probably backed out a bit really, so I don't think J. Luke is going to improve, but you never know. Again, we've only caught him for the last few corners, so we'll see. Is he going to jump in the pits? No, he's going to complete the lap. May as well, I guess. It's not going to do any harm to him. He's currently in P5 there, and no, he does not improve, of course. He was 8 seconds behind his best time, of course, and that is pretty much qualifying over. It's just a case of waiting for Panos now to retire. He is in the pit, so hopefully he does that sooner rather than later, so we can get on with tonight. And I am believing as well, Corey's got 8 pole positions this season as well, so he is definitely the pole position king this season, that is for sure. But you know, the races haven't always produced the results that he has wanted, of course. But here we go then. That is your grid for the United States Grand Prix. Corey, 2.5 tenths ahead of Machine Fishy. I think Machine Fishy will be not too dissatisfied with that. Aidan Griffin's a very good P3, obviously only 4 tenths off. Dan the Man, P4, very happy. J. Luke, Paul, Kyle, not too bad there. Johners, I think he'll be satisfied with that. He was struggling quite a lot. I had to give him a few setup tips prior to tonight's races, so that's probably helped him a fair bit, I'd say. Not to toot my own horn, as it were. Knight and P9, you know, just inside the top 10. Risky Racer P10, obviously got a podium previously. Ginger Andy just outside the top 10, so he'll be able to start on a brand new set of tyres. And obviously the rest of the grid, of course. Khalifa not being able to set a qualifying time, so he will be coming from the back. The Alfa Romeos could potentially, depending on how the race goes, win the Constructors' title in tonight's races, but we are going to see how that goes. You know, again, we don't want to say anything too soon. Commentators curse and all. It could be, you know, there could be a lot of spice thrown into these races tonight, so we will wait and see there. But just all the drivers getting ready, getting prepped, you know, drinking the last little bit of water, probably going for a quick piss as well, obviously before they get in their cars and rev their engines, as it were. And as we can see, the pit lane, all the front wings, obviously out in the pit lane ready. Obviously got 14 seconds ready for everyone to ready up when they are ready to go. It is dry, of course. I don't think there is any chance of rain in this race. It is very clear, as we can see in the top right corner. Blue sky, a bit of cloud, obviously about, but nothing major at all there. But here we go then. The crowd are getting ready. The drivers are getting ready. The teams are getting ready. 4 lights, 5 lights, and away they go. And there we go. I think actually Machine Fisher's got a decent start in P2. And actually Corey has got a good start there. Aiden's got a good start as well, but he's got Dan the Man up in. And actually Dan the Man's thinking about going up the inside. Aiden ran the outside of Machine Fisher. He's been very careful here. A bit of front wing damage at the back. And we're going to stick with this front 2. Aiden Griffin's up to P2 at the moment. Not what Machine Fishy really wanted. He wants to get, obviously, well, attacking really. Corey's, there's a bit of tussling going on at the back between, I think, Magic Poop Cannon and Panos there. Nicely clean, I'd say. Bit of front wing damage, and here we go then. Machine Fishy and Aidan Griffins. Obviously, Machine Fishy is wanting that place back, and they were going. Cleaver's actually retired, so they won't be winning the Constructors, as there is a safety car. So I'm not sure what happened there. There is actually a car at the back, so if we can see on the main straight, that is actually the safety car, obviously coming out. But for some reason, there is a, I think there's a car near the safety car at turn 1. That might just be the safety car. I'm hearing that Phil Bardwell is thinking of pitting this lap. So let's see where he fits in. The tyre wear, I don't think is too bad around America. So I think people will be able to make those tyres last. Are they going to go on to mediums or hards? Actually, let's take a look, shall we, at the tyre. So everyone at the moment, the top 13 people are currently on the soft tyres, so they're, you know, probably going to go into mediums, maybe even go on to the hards. I think mediums probably will suffice, obviously there. Obviously Northlands, Jovial Manatee and Magic Poop Cannon all starting on mediums, so that's not going to play well into their race strategies at all. I'd say they're probably going to have to be. I think potentially because they are so far back, as Corey has pitted, Aiden has pitted, obviously Machine Fishy, everyone is pitting there, as we can see. A few cars are probably going to have to pit, everyone's pitting of course, but I actually think it's actually the first person, Jean, is staying out of course, because Phil Bardwell, his teammate, did decide to pit, so there was no other choice there, and everyone, bar Magic Poop Cannon and Jean, are staying there, and actually, Machine Fishy has jumped Aiden Griffins there. And, yeah, he's been jumped by a Williams as well, I'm hearing. So J. Luke has made that pit stop work. It's down to pure luck. I think if you pit when so many cars are in the pits, it is not skill. It is not the skill of your team. It is down to pure luck of where your pit box is situated. So Aiden at the moment has lost 2 positions in the pit, so that is perfectly for Machine Fish, who's now going to be right behind Corey, of course. With that, obviously Jack probably having to stay out due to the queuing, so I don't think he really had a choice with that. He could have pitted, but I think it wouldn't have helped him. It would be right at the back. Potentially though, Jack Pearson, I'd say, would pit this lap. He's going to have 1 lap fresher tyres than the rest of the field, of course, which, again, tyre weight's not massive round here, but you know, 1 extra lap is always, you know, always a benefit, obviously, for that. But it's going to be interesting. We've got 2, you know, I'd say midfield drivers. Obviously, John, more of a midfield driver. Obviously, previous champion, of course. You know, maybe holding a lot of people up, depending on when he pits. Of course, I think he will pit this lap. He's got to, really. There's no point staying out on these tyres any longer. He's not really going to hold many people up, I don't think. So, you know, I think he should pit. Magic Poop Cannon, he started on the mediums. I think he will stay out, of course. You know, he won't make the soft last at all unless he goes on the hards, which, you know, you can kiss your race goodbye, barring any future safety cars or virtual safety cars, of course. But at the moment, then, Jovial Manatee, as we can see, all the way down in 17th place, has gone on the hard tyres. Now, I would probably say the best option for Jovial Manatee is just pit and put another set of mediums on. Because those hard tyres, if he stays on the hard tyres, I think he may struggle, obviously, to keep up with the cars ahead, barring, again, safety cars and any battles. Safety cars, we can see, is staying out another lap, of course. But I think Jovial Manatee definitely should pit and put us another set of mediums on. He's going to lose, what, 2 places at max, and I'm sure he'll be able to get them back pretty quickly, of course, with the 2 drivers behind him. So, yeah, we'll see. And is anyone pitting? No. I think everyone is staying out. I think there's a Ferrari then. Northant's pitting. He is on the soft tyres, so you know he didn't really have a choice, obviously, with that. And I think actually Jack Pearson has also pitted as well. So, and Jonas has stayed out. So Jonas is deciding, surprisingly, to stay out. But Jovial Manatee did stay out as well. So I'm not sure Jovial Manatee's strategy, but we will let it play out. I've been wrong on this side of thing at the moment. And oh, there we go. So Risky Racing nearly actually crashing into the back of Jovial Manatee into turn 1. So not really what you want there. But then Northants has came out in last position, of course, on those mediums. That is one disgusting helmet there. But yeah, John is leading with Magic Poop Cannon. Ginger Andy will be in net P6, obviously once the front 2 pits. So we'll see how that plays out. Obviously, again, Andy probably looking, at least for Monaco. I know we're only on USA at the moment. However, Monaco, Ginger Andy has been doing some serious sweat and practice. I can literally smell him all the way from England. It's been that bad. So, you know, we're going to look at Andy, I think, a lot in qualifying at Monaco, because he's looking for, I think, a top 4 in qualifying. He's got some serious pace there, but he's been doing all sweat there and no sweat at America. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But I'm going to assume the safety car will, of course, come in this lap. It's been out for a couple of laps now, and then the racing hopefully will get underway. Everyone, obviously, on the mediums now, other than Jovial Manatee and Jean at the front. I think John will definitely try and play the team game. Obviously, his teammate all the way down in 10th place. But, you know, now it's going to be a fight to the end. Who can manage their tyres? And yep, the safety car is in this lap. We're going to watch Machine Fishy, the Machine himself, and Corey. They are fighting for the title, of course. They've both made their pit stops. One is an injured bird in the Renault with his controller. Corey, obviously, fighting for the title as well, using the Senna helmet, which I think is an absolutely disgusting helmet on that car. However, Machine Fish's helmet is quite nice. It's gold on that yellow and black Renault there. But here we go, the cars are prepping. Jean is weaving his tyres. He needs to make sure to not hit the brakes, because again, any crashes, it will probably be down to him. So we will see. And then Jean getting ready to rumble, as it were. He's going to probably go onto the main straight in just a moment. He's actually bolted already. So there we go then. And then Machine Fishy and Corey. Obviously, they can't overtake until the start-finish straight, I believe is the rule now in Real F1. And here we go then. Machine Fishy behind Corey. I don't think he's going to have an attack into turn 1. However, is Corey going to attack Magic Buchanan? He is. He's diving up the inside. And that is, again, shit camera angle. Machine Fisher, though, also thinking about it there. And again, rubbish camera angle there. We're going to stay on board them. And actually, Magic Buchanan just gets straight out of the way. So fair play to Magic Buchanan. He knows that is not his fight. He knows these two are in a fight for the title. So he has decided to let them go there. But here we go. It's about a 5/10 gap. Obviously, Corey, I think, will close up very quickly on John. Is John going to get in this battle for the championship? Of course, as Jack Pearson, I think, has spun it at the back through the S. So he was complaining about that in his sweat sessions there. And also then, Phil and Speed 9 up the inside. Very late move there. He holds him. Obviously, didn't really push him off the circuit. However, that is the position done. And now Kyle on Phil, or on Knighton, should I say. And actually, all Phil and Knighton then. This is an interesting one. And Knighton is back up the inside of Phil. And Kyle then thinking about the outside of Phil Bardwell. Not quite makes it. Wiz got the inside here. He's thinking about it. He breaks a bit later. He's got the inside line. He's going to push Phil off. Not quite. Phil holding it around. And there's Magic Poop kind of getting out of the way of everyone. So he needs to be careful there of rejoining the circuit. And there we go then. So that's a bit of an interesting one there from Magic Poop kind of trying to get out of the way, I think. He knows it's not his battle. But yeah, that was a very interesting battle there. As here we go then. I think Phil Bardwell, as J. Luke has got a penalty there. Not good for him. But then... Oh, and he's actually spun it. He spun it. J. Luke has spun it on the second to last corner, and that is his wing damaged. So he's retired. He's actually retired. So that is his race done. I don't think that is virtual safety car. So is anyone going to pit? Obviously, I think some people are. Then Jovial Manti is now pitting, and he's going very slow into the pit lane. I think that's. I think he didn't know where the pit entry was there. And Northland's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so that's not good for him either. So that was an interesting one. A virtual safety car. However, that's going to be perfect for them. But we're actually going to go back. And actually, John is still in the lead. Risk Racer now gets a penalty, sadly, for him on a virtual safety car. Not sure how that happens. But yeah, so, you know, status quo resumes at the front, as it were. Obviously, no battling under the virtual safety car. It will be ending very soon. And let's see if Jean, and I think the safety car is ending now, I believe. Or is it? No, it's not. I thought Jean... was going pretty quick there. So the virtual safety car is staying out for quite a long time. Usually it's pretty big and Risky Racer. Of course, it is still in the pits, so that's a bit pain there. And the safety car is ending there. And here we go then. John, not really going defensive into that corner. Is Corey? No, Corey thinks about it. He's actually staying behind. And there we go then. So it was ending. However, Corey was holding back slightly. He didn't really want to overtake Johners. And Knighton has passed Andy now. And actually, Andy's now passed Phil as well there. So Corey then thinking about it. He's up the inside. And Johners doesn't even try and defend that corner. I think Johners knew, or he wasn't expecting it potentially. But yep, that's one place gain now. Machine Fishing needs to get straight past John. Again, he needs to keep in that DRS zone for when the DRS is active. Or I think Corey will probably pull away. Slipstream very powerful around this circuit. Jean staying out yet another lap, it seems. Here we go then. DRS is now enabled as well, so here we go. There is no DRS on this main straight though. This lap, of course, has only just been enabled. And here we go then. So that is Machine Fishy up the inside, nice and clean there. Obviously, Jean can do nothing there, but again, I think John didn't want to lose too much time there. Obviously, Dan and Kyle, as well as Ginger Andy, just ahead of these guys. They're all fighting for 7th place. Obviously, Andy's probably going to have to go very defensive. Obviously, onto the DRS zone again. It is now active, of course. But they need to get there in peace, of course. In one piece. They don't want to get any corner cut penalties. They don't want to crash before that. We saw Jack Pearson losing it in the S's on the track map earlier on. So you don't really want that to happen. But here we go then. Is Danman going to go up the inside before the DRS zone? No, he's not. He's going to wait. Obviously taking a slightly wider line than Kyle there, trying to get the exit. Very easy to lose traction out of that corner, and there we go, look. Obviously Kyle pulling away as he was on the power a bit earlier. but he seems to have a far better exit there. DRS is open, of course. Is Dan the Man going to go up the inside of Kyle? He's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. And instead of backing off, he does go for it. However, Kyle holding it around the outside, runs it off the circuit, but we can very easily say that Dan the Man pushed him off, and Kyle then keeping that position at 4. Now, however, Dan the Man's going to try and go around the outside of this next corner, but Kyle there holding that inside line, and he runs it a bit wide there, and now Dan the Man's going to go around the outside, and there we go, nice and easy there. Obviously, perfect, well, a perfect run, I would say. Obviously, Jean now is pitting from P3 as Corey sets the fastest lap. It's now a 1.8 second gap between the top two. So, yeah, Machine Fishy, I don't think, has the pace to match Corey, at least at this stage of the race. But we will hold our breath for that. Hopefully, those two close up at the moment. Then Paul and Knighton pretty close, half a second at the moment. I think that is pretty much as Jack Pearson, of course, shock. Anyway, more important things at the moment is actually Magic Poop Cannon and Kyle right next to each other. Only 2 tenths separating them. I thought actually Magic Poop Cannon was going to try and have a move there, but Kyle seems to be really struggling at this phase of the race. Has he got any front wing damage, or is he just lacking a lot of pace? I do not know, and I want to know. So let's have a look. And yes, Kyle is missing half of his front wing on the right-hand end plate, obviously, as you're looking at the left-hand side there. So that's very interesting there. And here we go then. Speed Knighton very far back from Paul. Even though he has got the DRS, is it going to be enough to go up the inside of this next corner? I think it's way too far back. Yep, way too far back there. However, he was gaining a lot there on Paul McGuinness, but we're going to stick with this for the time being. Is Speed Knighton, of course, going to be able to get past Paul? And that is going to be a P4, of course. That will be P4 in this race, and that'll be a good haul of points. But I think it'd be very important for Paul to hold that place as well. He's not going to give that up lightly, I do not think. Ginger Andy's not too far behind these guys. It's only a second and a half separating Knighton. As Machine Fishy has got a penalty, so he's losing time to Corey and is really on the edge of pushing. So yeah, that's not good for him. But that penalty was very important for the championship. So I'm going to absolutely say about those penalties. Anyway, more importantly, Machine Fishy has gained 2 tenths on Corey, that sector, so that's good. However, you know, it's going to be interesting there, but as we can see, Knighton, I think is going to wait as Magic Poop Cannon and Panos, as Corey's now got a penalty. Again, I'm going to mention that one, it's the title, so now they've both got a penalty. Here we go then, actually Kyle and Magic Poop Cannon still really going at it at the moment for 8th and 9th, but they're not really past anyone. And actually, Magic Boot Cannon there, I think, completely bottled that fight. Obviously, because he ran off and straight down the corner and slowed down a lot. So I think he thinks it's F1 2013 where it automatically slows you down. But Andy and Dan then, Andy up the inside of Dan. Dan's dropped down to P7. However, he's going to get a better exit. And actually, Andy holds it on the apex very slowly, so Dan could not get the apex and really get the drive out. But he's got DRS, he goes around the outside, obviously on the racing line. Andy is going defensive, but I don't think it's any need for that. Is Andy going to go back up the inside? He's thinking about it, and he dives up the inside into the next corner. He's going to run Dan out of road. Dan keeps the place, but he did keep it off the circuit, so I think that is a bit dodgy there. And Andy's actually back around the outside anyway, so nothing to worry about there. Dan the Man back up the inside. He thinks about it. He backs off though. And now that allows Andy actually to run wide, but Andy does keep that position. That's a fantastic little battle there. Fair, mostly clean, which is absolutely fantastic to see. And no wheel banging at all. They gave just enough room as and when absolutely needed, of course. And obviously at the front, Machine Fishy has lost another 6 tenths that previous lap to Corey. So that's very important there as well. Obviously Panos and Kyle then right behind there. That's fine then, but we're going to go back with Andy and Dan. Obviously Dan up the inside, Andy leaving plenty of room there. He's going to hold it on the outside of turn 1. It's going to be the inside of turn 2. However, Dan's now going to have the inside for turn 3. And I can't actually see anything there. It's Dan, obviously, sadly there, but that's just the nature of racing. But that is a fantastic battle, very clean again for the most part. But this battle is not over. They're going to be back on the DRS straight, the massive long straight. So I think it's going to be another change of places going into the final sector yet again. But Dan there at the moment, I'm just going to check the ERS. So Dan's got 12% ERS, Ginger Andy's got 27. So he's going to use that far more effectively. And Dan, I think, is going to start losing power on this main straight. It's actually in 0, so he's not going to be able to attack into this next corner. I think Dan just needs to bide his time. Don't start attacking. Actually, Knighton then, and Paul right side by side. Obviously, Paul using number 14 as Jack Pearson has retired from the race. He has crashed it in the SS section yet again. But here we go, then Knighton up the inside. Paul making a bit of a mistake there. But that's nice and easy there for Knighton. But I think this battle and the battle for P6 is going to be really going at. And actually, Andy's run very wide there, but Dan was a bit too far back to really gain on that and really take advantage of that mistake. But at the moment, then now Dan has more ERS than Andy, so it's role reversed after that. Andy was using a lot of ERS, obviously on that DRS straight, where Dan was saving it, of course, due to having none. Obviously, Kyle and Panos have actually just swapped places, so Kyle is up to P8, while Panos has dropped down, but Magic Poop Cannon is still right behind this guy. Well, then here we go then, Panos with DRS on Kyle. Is he going to go up the inside? Kyle goes defensive. It's not defensive enough though, and Panos up the inside. He's going to run it very wide though and off the circuits. That allows Kyle back up into P8, and now Magic Poop Cannon is going to be side by side, not quite there. And actually, Dan the Man and Andy are really still having a good ding dong, obviously, for fighting for P6. But he's going to go back with this, and actually Dan the Man there, obviously getting a bit out of shape, so that's allowed Andy to really pull a gap. I don't think he's going to be in DRS zone now. I think maybe has Dan got a full wing? Yes, he has. Maybe he's really struggling on those tyres. He's clearly struggling on those tyres, but maybe he's not got the the balance he really wants at this stage with those medium tyres really. And yeah, he's dropped very far back, so that battle is over for the time being. We're actually going to go back with further down with Panos, Kyle and Magic Poop Cannon. Panos does have Dearest. Here he comes. He's got plenty of verse. Is he going to dive up the inside, or is he going to go around the outside? Yes, he does. He thinks about it there. Not quite making it stick. Not quite late enough on the brakes. But he's going to be biding his time again. Panos there, I can see he's got 6% ERS. Carlos only got 45, so they're both all good for ERS. What about Magic Poop Cannon? 24, so Magic Poop Cannon's got a bit less, but I think Magic Poop Cannon, what he needs to do at this point in time is just save the ERS. He's not really losing ground to these guys in front because they are having a bit of a battle. So it's... Oh, as he runs a bit wide there. But yeah, I think that's probably Magic Poop Cannon's best option. But this is going to allow Jean in P11 to really close up. And actually, even though Jean stayed out when the safety car was out, he's still ahead of Phil Bargewell. And here we go then, Panos with the direction yet again. He's going to go up the inside. Kyle just go very defensive there, so he can't go up the inside this time. And he actually runs it a bit wide there, but he's going to get the drive out of turn 1 as it is downhill. And it keeps that position, not a chance there for Panos to get up the inside or overtake him. Nice defensive move from Kyle there, but was actually very slow through these sections of corners. But you can't really overtake unless you're a ballsy driver. And he's gonna wait then. So Aiden is 3 seconds behind Machine Fishy. Machine Fishy is pretty much 4 seconds behind Corey. So Corey is gently pulling that gap further and further from Machine Fishy. So that's gonna obviously extend his championship lead if the racing stays like this. And actually, Ginger Andy and Dan the Man. So Andy then has really dropped the ball here. Dan is back up into P6. Obviously making a bit of a meal of that, I think, really. For Andy, I'm not sure how he closed up so quickly. Maybe Andy's only staying in this fight because of the DRS, but yeah, we don't really know. But we'll stay on board with this battle for now, as Panos and Kyle are actually still going at it. Obviously, Panos up the inside of the left-hander. Kyle holds it around the outside, nicely done, and this has allowed John to get right up behind these two. John needs to be very careful not to make any mistakes, not to try anything stupid. Again, these two are battling, as we can see, and actually Panos up the inside, and ooh, bit of contact there. Kyle back up the inside of the second last corner. He pushes Panos a bit wide again. Not really anything Kyle can do. He was understeering. Kyle back up the inside there. I've seen John as he's really taking it cautiously as Phil. Oh! And there we go then, so that's Panos, I think, done. That was very easy to do on that final corner. But that has allowed Jean to move up yet another place, and Kyle to only have one car, yet again battling him. As Magic Poop Cannon is in the pits, also that's gained Phil a place. I think Phil's really playing the team game there, so that's very important there. But Jean is right behind Kyle at this point in time. Andy though, only a second behind, so Dan the Man is starting to pull away from obviously Ginger Andy now. So I think that battle is not quite firing on all cylinders. But here we go then, Jean lining up Kyle. He's going to have an attack into this corner. No, he's not. He's going to wait for the DRS. But I think it was Phil and Kyle who had a bit of a coming together, which is why he had damage. Obviously meaning Kyle. But here we go then, Jean not quite close enough. I don't think he's going to be close enough to have a have a a lunge up the inside. No, not quite close enough. He doesn't think about diving all over the circuit, trying to distract him. To be fair, that hardly ever works in my eyes, unless you're right behind the car. So here we go then. Is John going to go up the inside? No, he's going to think about going around the outside, or potentially get up the inside of this next corner. And oh, very close there. Obviously Kyle losing it and nearly collecting Jean there. So that was very lucky. And I'm actually surprised Jean didn't get past Kyle far sooner with that damaged wing. So either Jean... Jean's mediums are not quite where he wants them to be, or he doesn't quite have the pace where he thinks he should be. But that was, and it still is at the moment, the closest battle. However, right at the moment, Ginger Andy is only half a second behind Dan the Man, so he's staying with Dan at the moment. I think, again, it's Citroen being very powerful. You can't really pull away from the car ahead if you're on a very similar pace, but Dan... being a champion of his calibre, I think you'd expect to be pulling away from Ginger Andy. Ginger Andy was doing all of his sweat at Monaco. I think he only did one session around this circuit. So, fair play to Andy on his points positions, while Jack Pearson yet again, as Martin has retired. Obviously, I think that was in the pits, of course. You can see on the track map there. However, yeah, obviously... Jack Pearson yet again not scoring, while Andy is en route for some more points. Not quite close enough though to dive it up the inside of Dan the Man as of yet. Obviously runs it slightly wide, but so does Dan. And yeah, this is still the closest battle on the circuit, so we're going to stick with this one. Corey now 4 seconds ahead of Machine Fishy. I think Machine Fishy needs an answer at Monaco for his championship rival, although with his controller not really turning the full weight needs to when you want to go through the hairpin, I think he might actually end up, commentator's curse, possibly crashing out, which we do not hope for. We want the title fight to go to the final week. We want it to go to the wire. But here we go then. Down the main straight, and after this race, Corey will lead by 6 points, I believe, as well, going into Monaco. So Corey's starting to stretch his lead once again. However, I will point out that it's been like that all season. 1 week Corey is far faster, the next week Machine Fish is far faster. 1 week Corey is the championship leader, the next week Machine Fish is the championship leader. So it could very easily it's swinging all season. It's swinging like a I don't know, a bell, a rope. I don't really know. I don't really think that one was. And I'm hearing Phil Bargewell softs have had it, so he's really struggling now. He's 4 seconds now behind Kyle. All these actually spun it. There we go, and there we go. Around he goes for Bargewell, just easily losing the rear end, slightly on the power, and yeah, around he goes. So not good there for Phil. It is the last lap though, so he's in the points position. And here we go then. Andy and Dan. Is Andy going to go this? And he dives up the inside from very far back, runs it very wide, and Dan the Man keeps the position. However, fair play to Andy, he nearly made it stick. He was very, very close there. And here we go then, Corey round the final corner. Faultless race, faultless qualifying. That is yet another win for Corey. Machine Fishy will come home in second place. Aidan, of course, will come home in P3. And I think the battle as well for Andy and Dan is pretty much over going into the final 2 corners, unless Andy tries to dive bomb yet again, but he's way too far, well too far back there. And this is going to be interesting, actually. Phil has lost that place, and also Magic Poop Cannon as well there. So Phil was in the final points position on that final lap, and due to his tyres he wasn't able to hold on. A bit like Kimi Räikkönen, I think, was it in China 2013, I believe it was, where his tyres just dropped off, and he's going to lose it also to Roy. Obviously Jovial Manatee taking that position from Phil. So I think, yeah, not much Phil could have done there with his tyres. And obviously Luca getting the final points position as well. So obviously fair play to Mr. Chiapelli. Obviously the Manx man, or should I say the marked man in some cases this season. But that pretty much is the results. We're just waiting for Panos to cross the line there. There we go then. So that is your race in the United States of the America. We'll see. Good little country, or big country really. And there's the podium then. Yet again, 3 different manufacturers on the podium. I think that's a common theme this season. I don't think we've really had any issues there. And I'm actually hearing as well in my ear from my good old little pit lane reporter called Dom Smith. Alfa Romeo have won the Constructors' title, so congratulations to Corey and Khalifa. Obviously not what Khalifa would have wanted at this race, of course. He would have probably wanted to at least score some points or make his way up from the back of the grid, but sadly not. But either way, you know, Corey would not have won the title without Khalifa, and vice versa as well. So congratulations to both of them. It is a team sport when it comes to the Constructors. And there we go then. Corey in P1, Machine Fishy in P2. Aiden Griffins, I think, will be very satisfied with the P3. He didn't have the pace of the top two, but you know, fair play. He got the podium, he kept it clean. Pretty boring race for him, but you know, that's how things go. It's been Knighton. Very happy, I think, with P4. Paul McGuinness, P5. You know, him and Knighton having a bit of a battle all race, really. Ginger Andy in P6, very happy with that. He did start P11 as well, so he was on those fresh tyres. Safety cars were a bit all over the place. Dan the Man P7, I think he'd be a bit disappointed. He did qualify P4 and he did drop down. Jean P8, where he qualified even. Not too bad, I guess. Car dropping a place. Mr. Chiapelli starting 15th, and he did get some points there, so you know, you can't really say anything about that. He got points, that's all that matters. I think, you know, he is always looking to get the odd point here and there. I think this season he's not on the pace of the front runners, of course, but you know, it's got to be done. But Mr. Chiapelli is TGP2 pace. Will he go into TGP2 next season, Mr. Chiapelli? That is the question. And obviously those will be finalised in the coming weeks. Obviously the next season, I think, of TGP1 and 2 is going to be on the brand new game as far as I'm aware. So we've got a couple of months to wait for that. However, we do have, of course, at the moment, TGP Dirt. We're going to do another season on TGP Dirt about a week to 2 weeks after that finishes. So we've only got another 2 weeks of that anyway. So it's probably about 3-4 weeks before the new season. Obviously, season 5 of TGP Dirt starts in a few weeks. Well, we've got GT Sport obviously coming up, so that'll be our first time on GT Sport, obviously, for the league. So that will be interesting. Also, we're going to do a podcast as well. I'll be starring, of course, as the soft cop, the one and only, and Mr. Jovial Manatee will also be starring as that, as well as obviously the host Mike Noon, obviously Bet Noon, always got their good bets. So yeah, we'll be doing that in the next week or so, but that will be all about, you know, preview, really. It'll be a preview, obviously, what we think about it. You know, I'd assume as well who we think going to be fighting for the title. A lot of different subjects on GT Sport we're gonna talk about, I'm sure, but look out for that within the next week or so. That will be up on obviously Mike Noon's channel, obviously Noonie Gaming, I believe it is, with a 38 as well. It is a bit dodgy trying to search people's YouTube channels sometimes, but Noonie Gaming is the channel to look for that. It will be on Twitter, of course, so if you do have Twitter, obviously take a look at that, and it will be up all over, so that's fine. And now, Monaco. It's night time, so every season we do, when it comes to a mixed up calendar, which is always the last season on every F1 game, we always do things like Singapore at, you know, in daytime. I don't think we did it this season though, but we're doing Monaco at night, which is going to be interesting. The grip sometimes is a bit off with it being nighttime, but it's just another challenge for the drivers. Monaco's hard enough in the day, and also a chance of rain potentially. So if it rains, 1, it's nighttime, 2, you can't see shite, and 3, it's Monaco, which is horrendous. And here we go then. Is it raining for qualifying? It'll be very exciting if it was. Is it raining? We're going to take a look, and eventually, and it is absolutely chucking it down. So, I'm just going to say, Ginger Andy 96 was doing all of his sweat, he has been sweating for the past week to get a good qualifying session at Monaco. He was doing, I think his best lap in sweat sessions was a 9.0. Now, Corey was also doing, well, I say Khalifa. Khalifa, I think, had the pace around here in his sweat sessions. Khalifa's best lap was an 8.9. So Ginger Andy was practically on the, you know, potentially on the first row of the grid. Second row of the grid, I'd probably say at worst. And because it's raining in qualifying, and it is a dry race, I'm going to point out as well, all of that sweat has gone absolutely down the drain. It's literally gone down the drain because there's so much water. So he's not going to be happy with that, I guess, but that is the way the rain falls sometimes. So yeah, we're actually going to see how Andy does in this. He's been doing all of his sweat in the dry. He did not think about doing it in the wet conditions. So let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. And is Andy's still in the pits? And there we go. We're actually going to go with Andy for the time being, just to see how he how he handles these conditions, because I'm interested to see. He had the pace in the dry. Is he going to... He's going to do well, really. And I'm hearing it will go to light rain. It's going to get light rain. Actually, Andy's lost it already at the top of the hill. Obviously, through Casino there, so he's already struggling. And I'm actually not sure. Is anyone on the wet tyres? No, everyone's on intermediate tyres at the moment. I'm not too sure whether it is intermediate tyres or if it's full wet. I think it looks very wet out there. It looks very wet, but again, that is just the time. At the moment, I am hearing the wet tyres are a second and a half slower than inter, so it's definitely intermediate tyres at the moment. I am hearing it's going to potentially dry up slightly as we get into the session, but I don't think it will be dry enough for dries before the end of the session, that is for sure. However, Martin then, Northants, is ahead of Andy, so Andy may get held up, but I'm going to watch Andy on the T-cam because I want to see how he does on his lap. And he's actually got Northants ahead of him, so that might compromise him slightly. The sprain. Actually, Northants goes to the pits, so does Ginger Andy. So Andy's thinking, not a chance. I'm going to wait a bit longer. But I don't think that's the right choice. I think he needs to get out there and just get a bit of practice, really. As Jack Pearson there, just nearly doing a Nico Rosberg in 2014. So that's an interesting one. But Jean then is on a flying lap at the moment. And actually, Machine Fishy is also on lap. And he is purple in Sector 1. So we're going to stay with Machine Fish then for the time being. As he's actually got Jack Pearson ahead of him. But Jack is out of the way. So that's perfectly fine. It may have slightly put him off just a tad. But Jack Pearson not in the wrong there. Obviously, you've got out of the way very nicely. But Machine Fishy, very dry tunnel. So you actually get just as much grip in the tunnel as you do on the wet surface, which makes no sense, but I can see why Cody's did it, really. A lot of curb riding out there, which is good to see. You have to do that to be fast around Monaco. Obviously, nice through there. Now, actually, his purple middle sector as well. Machine Fishy, of course, no one's set at time, so he's pretty much going to be. He's actually caught that corner there, so that's invalidated his lap. Corey is also not long started. He's got Robo Jeep ahead of him, who nicely gets out the way at the top of the hill. Coming down here towards the hairpin, Corey now goes purple first sector, of course, yet again, as Carl does finally set the first flying lap of this session of 24.6. I've got no clue what the times are going to be or what pole is going to be in the wet conditions, so I'm not even going to attempt it. In the dry last season, it was an 8.5 by myself with Matt Tibos 4 attempts behind on an 8 and 9, so it's going to be way off that this season at least, unless it does dry, which again I don't think it will. But I'll tell you what, Monaco does look gorgeous at night on this game. The lighting is really, as we've got a bit of debris in the middle of the circuit there, yellow flags as well, and actually there's a bit of contact, I think, obviously on the track map, where Senna binned it all those years ago, but we're going to stay with Corey as he sets a purple middle sector. Doesn't cut the chicane light. Machine Fishing, very easy to do though, and I think he will go fastest, of course, by a country mile, or at least a decent amount. Pole at the moment is a 24.6. Corey across the line, and he goes a 24.0. That's fine. And then Phil Bargewell there coming out of the final corner. Obviously on his fly out, of course, on intermediate tyres, 6th at the moment, no time set, and he goes into P4 a 25.7, so he's, what, 1.7 seconds currently off the fast time. I think a lot of these drivers will have really fueled their cars up for the time, just to get that rhythm of the circuit. Obviously, Khalifa is probably, at least in the sweat session, so I'm hearing, is probably looking to be the favourite around Monaco. He is on a wheel, I'm going to point out as well, which at least at the hairpin, and I'm going to say this very clearly, the hairpin is the only place on Monaco on a wheel where you gain time. Simple as that. You know, it's slightly easier, but a lot of the people in TG1 think it's the other way around, and it's off the entire circuit, which is not. It really isn't. But anyway, less of that. We're going to focus on the qualifying at Han Khalifa. No purple sectors at present, as far as I could see. So he's, again, this is his first lap. Speed 9, I'm hearing, is set a purple first sector now, but again, the track conditions will, of course, be always improving. So let's see then. And he's actually set purple middle sector, Khalifa then has. So he didn't set a first sector, which was purple, but he did set a middle sector, which is purple. So let's see where he goes. This second last corner, very easy to lock up in the dry, even easier in the wet. And Dan the Man's actually gone fast, only 23.5 22.5, and Andy's set purple first sector as well. But let's see then, Khalifa across the line is going to go fastest. He goes P3, so he did lose a bit of time there, half a second to Corey, and a second, well, 9/10 to Dan the man there. So let's go with Ginger Andy, shall we, as Risky Racer gets out of the way of Andy there, and he gets a bit on the curb, which is very easy to do. You don't want to do that because it will lose your time around Monaco. That is some disgusting helmet that Andy's got. I'm sure it's probably the tartan, as he actually, you know, corner cuts there and invalidates there, so not good for him. Corey is purple sector 1, as we can see on the track map, as Northlands has somehow got a 5 grid place drops. That's not good there, but Corey then through the tunnel, purple sector 1 is going to be able to improve, so I think he's looking good for it at the moment. Very careful through their Machine Fish. Has also set a purple middle sector. I'm hearing currently no time on the board for Machine Fishy. He did invalidate his first lap, but he is going again, of course. Purple middle sector then for Corey, so he's improving. He's up by, I think, 2/10. That was, it showed. Didn't invalidate his lap there, so that's fantastic. So here we go then. Corey, I think, will go pole position for now. Plenty of time, 10 minutes to go before the end of qualifying. The track will be drying up, changing all the time, so grip will be changing. But here we go then, Corey across the line, and of course he does go pole, 22.8, and then Machine Fishy then, currently in P17. Obviously he'll be looking to improve on his time. He is purple then, he's purple on his time, so if he carries on and does a good third sector, as Khalifa now goes fast on a 22.8, so it's what, half a tenth, separating the top two at the moment. They have won the constructors at the moment, as he loses their Machine Fish. He does around the final corner, very careful. Obviously on the power, very easy to lose it, but across the line, Machine Fish comes, he's going to go pole, and he does a 22.5. Very, very good there. And then Ginger Andy coming out of the tunnel, currently no time set. He did set a purple sector 1 that I am hearing yet again, so, and he's got the pace in sector 1, but can he string it together throughout the entire lap? Again, these conditions are completely different compared to, and he's actually gone purple sector 2 as well. So Andy, even though he didn't do any wet practice, very out of shape there, hit the barrier, but that barrier actually saved him there, I think, from spinning it. So he is purple first and second set. So I think actually Andy's got the pace in the wet as he does in the dry as well. He's not going to be quite on the pace of the leaders, I don't think, but we're going to just see before I start talking absolute shite. And it goes P5 then. So Khalifa then is improving by 1/10.5 going into the final sector as well there. But obviously Ginger Andy, not bad. He is in P5. He's lost a fair bit of pace, I'd say, from dry to wet. But all that sweat, all that practice still goes somewhere. He's still used to the circuit, the traction zones. So here we go then. Khalifa onto the main straight. Is he going to improve on his time? He's only 3/10 behind the pole position at the moment, and he does 22.5 there. And then Kyle across the line goes P4 as well. So he improves by 2 to 3 places there, and then runs it wide, loses a wing, but he'll probably go into the pits anyway there, so that is fine there. Speed Knighton then in P11, purple middle sector then, a second and a half up on his time at the moment, so he'll go probably 6th, 7th, give or take, and we'll see where he goes and across the line as well. So currently P11, you want to be as high up at Monaco as you can, and he goes P8 there, so that's not too shabby. And then Jean across the line, P14, no, 27.3 at the moment, he goes into P9 as well. Again, it's very easy to make mistakes in these conditions. Machine Fishy purple sector 1 yet again, so he's once again improving. He's got improved by what, 1/10 to be on pole again. But again, these cars clearly, they've fueled the cars up. And let's actually have a look at how many laps. So Khalifa is on 4 laps on his tyres. Machine Fishy's on 2. Corey, of course, is now in the pits, so he'll be having a new fresh set of inters. So that's very good for him. So here we go. The Machine Fishy there. Bit out of shape there, slight corner cut, but you can get away with it. And Aiden then, I think, has made a mistake and got wing damage. He's not very happy at all. And Machine Fishy then 3/10 and 4/10 up on his time, of course. Bit of a corner cut there, but he got away with it. Again, a lot of curb riding needed at Monaco to be quick. It's a very fine line, of course. I should know that. I mean, at the moment, I've got, I think, 4 wins at Monaco. It should have been 6. The record is 6 by Dan, the man I will point out as well. As Machine Fishy across the line, a 21.9. 6/10 quicker than anyone else at the moment, of course. So Northlands then has just started a lap as well, so we're actually going to go with Northlands. He's 20th at the moment. He's got no time set on the board as of yet, but as I was saying before I interrupted myself, at the moment Dan the man has got the record number of wins at Monaco, which is 6. I think I am, I don't even know if I'm second. I'm up there though. I'm on 4 wins anyway. However, 2 of those wins or 2 should have been wins, but were a bit dodge. One of them, my L2, as Martin's actually hit the barrier there, so that's not a good hairpin for him. I think he's really struggling around that hairpin, like a lot of the pad users so far. But yeah, 2 of my potential wins at Monaco. Joined TGP1 in season 23, the first season I think on the PS4. On F1 2015. Season 23 was leading pretty much the entire race. We've got Machine Fishy spun it there actually, out of the hairpin, the tunnel, shall I say. So not what he wants, but he'll be going into the pits, I'm sure, anyway. Again, currently 9/10 quicker than anyone else, and actually Dan the Man has gone 5/10 purple up on his time, of course, which would probably put him, third at the moment, at least, if it's 5/10 up on his time, but he is purple first sector. But yeah, season 23 was leading the race. My L2 had decided the spring stopped working, so I then had to manually, every time I hit the brakes and I didn't want to brake anymore, I'd have to manually lift the L2 button, which is a bit of pain. So I relieved my lead to Mike Noon, who then proceeded to bottle it from the lead, as Dan the Man is on pole, or going to... Oh, barrier there, as I cough. So that might have cost Dan the Man a lot there. Commentator's curse, I think. But let's just take a look where he goes. And he goes second, so 22-2. So that, I think, cost him 3 to 4/10 as Andy has just started his lap into turn 1 then. Nice turn 1. He rides a lot of the curve. Bit of oversteer there. I don't think it would have cost him too much time. However, it would have cost him a bit. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see where Andy goes. Currently P6, 23.5. So it's not bad as he nearly lost it there. I think he's really struggling for grip in this session. And where is he going? Is he going to be up? He's down by a 1/4 of a 10th on his time, of course. So he's not out of it yet, I'd say. He's not out of it yet, but he can very easily improve there as Corey, obviously an outlap at the moment. Khalifa, I'm actually going to go with Khalifa then. He's about to start his lap. Obviously the favourite for this pole position, I'm sure, at least in the dry. In the wet, again, it can be anyone's. Wet conditions are very different. I think wet conditions as well, wheel users, go back to the wheel versus pad debate, wheel users actually are worse off in the wet conditions, of course. I'm hearing Mr. Chiapelli is disagreeing with me in the background as he crashes. So, let's have a look at Mr. Chiapelli. He's a bit all over the place. Look, he's got no wing as well. He's missing half of it, and he's I think he was saying he was a bit struggling there. And then Panos goes to P2 as we're on board with Chiapelli. Khalifa is 2/10 up on his time, so that would put him third, give or take. At the moment, we're going to stay with Khalifa then, as he is on a current flying lap. We don't want to give Mr. Chiapelli any more screen time than he needs, really, all the way down in P12. So we're going to focus on the big guys, of course. I don't think Mr. Chiapelli will be happy with that. Now I'm hearing Andy is struggling in these wet conditions, but I don't blame him. I think a lot of people are struggling. They really are at present, but. Here we go then. Is he going to be up? Is he going to be purple going into the final sector? He is. He's up by 6/10 on his time now. So he will be going potentially P2, well, easily P2 if he keeps this up. He's still got the third sector, which he can potentially improve on if he gets it right. There's a yellow flag. That is a racing point out of the tunnel anyway. But here we go then. Khalifa round the final corner. And is he going to get pole? Is he going to improve on his time? I think he's going to improve there, and he goes P1, perfect there. So 21.6 by him, 2/10 quicker than the Machine Fishy. Andy has invited his lap, but Corey then on a flying lap at the moment is an overtake. Obviously coming out of the tunnel, he's got a car ahead of him. That's going to be quite distracting. It's Jean, obviously, of course. Obviously, that's not really what you want with Jean. I think he's getting out of the way perfect from Jean there. If he's not on the lap, he gets out of the way nice. Obviously, here we go. Is he going to be up on his time? Slight taps the barrier. He's up by apparently 1 second. On his time, so that's going to be an interesting one. It's actually invalidated his lap, so that's not going to count. And here we go then, Kyle, obviously on his lap, currently P5, 22.2. Obviously coming into the final 2 corners. Is he going to improve on his time? I think if he improves by even a 10th, he'll be up to P3. So it's all to play for Kyle, and across the line, and he goes P1. Whoa, I didn't even see that one. A 21.5. So I think Carl has actually just gone on it turn 1 out of amazement that he did that. Machine Fish is on a lap, but that's fine there. I'll see Khalifa. I'll see final set to them. He's up by 1/10.5, so he will go pole position provisionally if he keeps this up. So Khalifa again is running around, and actually Khalifa's already done a lap on these tyres, so I'm surprised he hasn't gone into the pits, took all of the fuel out, as then Khalifa goes P1 there, so that's fine. And then Machine Fishy up by a second on his time apparently, so that's fine there. So let's see, if he's up by a second, then he will be going pole position if it is correct. Again, Cody's, we know what they're like, as I say every single week. But across, well, around the final corner, but across the line then, is Machine Fish going to go pole? Yes, he does. A 20.7. What a time there. Corey's down in P8 at the moment. Not what he wants. He is purple. He's up by a second and 1/10 on his time, so he needs to make this count. He's got a Panos ahead of him, which might distract him slightly. I think he's probably going to take a bit more caution through these final few corners, but he gets out of the way, that's fine. And where's Corey going to go? He needs to be on that front row if he's got a chance of staying with Machine Fishy in this race, and he does. He goes P2 at 21.3, but he's still a country mile behind Machine Fishy on overall pace. But Dan the Man then, obviously currently P6 at the moment, so we're going to stay with Dan the Man. Obviously out of the tunnel, nice attacking style, and he's actually lost it, so that's his I think lap ruined, and Aiden there's crashed into the barrier, so it's all going on now at the death of the qualifying session. Machine Fish then, I think it is on another lap. Yes, he is, so he's going for another lap. He keeps it nice and tidy out of the chicane, unlike Dan the Man did, so that's good. And is he going to be up on his time? He's down by 0.5 but very easy, able to gain that back with just a slight better run through a corner. And Khalifa made the line a couple of seconds, as we can see on the map, before qualifying ended. So Khalifa and Machine Fisher is obviously coming into the pits, but we're going to take a look. And there's Corey then as a validate his lap, so we're going to stay with Khalifa even. There's a lot going on. I'm struggling to see who's who, but we're going to stay with Khalifa then. He is. And I'm hearing then actually we're going to go with Andy. He's 7 tenths up on his time, so if that would put him what? Well, I think it would put him quite high up. It was top 6, I reckon. If he does it, and actually Andy then has validated his lap, so he will not be improving. So not good where he wants. And then Carl then around the final few corners in the final sector. Slight barrier tap there. John has retired from P16. Obviously we've got him in the barrier, hence why he retired. Again, be very careful retiring on the circuit, unless it automatically DNF'd you. But Carl then P4 at the moment, and he goes. Stays P4, he was down by 2 tenths. Khalifa is done. Risky Racer, and Andy there just sat, crashed. I think Risky Racer may have been unsighted there or crashed there, so that's fine. Then speed 96 tenths up on his lap as he comes round the final corner. Currently 13th at the moment, so he wants to be as high as he possibly can, of course. And he goes into P7. Obviously, Northlands also, I was going to say on a lap, but he's invalidated it, and he's missing half of his wing. He's actually missing both parts of his end plate, so I don't think he's going to have a very good Monaco Grand Prix at all. So, the big talking point for that qualifying session is Ginger Andy, after hyping himself up very subtly in the chat, thinking he's going to get a front row, is P12. So, how do you like them apples, as it were? I think that's going to be... I think he'll be very furious with his runs there. Very furious, I'd say. But here is qualifying then. So Machine Fishy gets pole position by 0.5 seconds. Obviously, a massive gap there. It was wet. It didn't dry up, as I said. Corey, P2, is in the prime position to prevent Machine Fishy gaining points on him. Obviously, where needed. Khalifa, I think he'd be very disappointed to be 8 tenths off. In the dry, he was potentially looking to be the fastest driver. Carl, very good P4. Panos, very good P5. Dan the Man, I think we're very disappointed. I think Dan the Man does quite well again. He's got 6 wins around here in his TGP career, and he's P6, so he's got beat by 5 different drivers, all new drivers this season, pretty much as well. So not good for him. But we're going to get ready for the race. And it is a dry race, of course. It is night, of course, as well, still, so it is still night. I'm hearing Jean is getting quite frustrated on team radio as well, so Either Jean is frustrated with either himself, or he's very frustrated with other drivers. It's quite hard to tell, really. Obviously, as I can't hear him. He's got me muted. I'm a party at the moment, so we're gonna see. Monaco. It's night time. It's tense. It's all to play for, of course. Who's going to get a good start? I think, Machine Fish needs to get a good start. He tends to get a better start than Corey for the majority of the time. However, it's a very short run into turn 1. A lot of cars into turn 1. Here we go then. 3 lights, 4 lights, and 5 lights. Who's going to get a good start? We're going to stay with the top 2 for the time being. And there we go then. So Machine Fish gets a good start. Perfectly fine. And actually, Khalifa's thinking about going up the inside of Corey. No, he backs out of it. Perfect start for Machine Fisher there. Obviously, a bit of a bottleneck at the back. And actually, there's a bit of a crash there. There's a bit of a crash. There's a lot going on. It is bottleneck. It's not a Lotus roadblock this time. It's not a Lotus roadblock this time, and there is a safety car out. So, who is going to pit? I think it's an interesting one, but that was not a Lotus roadblock. And what's going on here? What is going on here? What is going on here? What is RoboJeep's slowing up? I think he may have accidentally illegally overtake someone, or I'm not too sure there. And there we go then. Actually, Magic Poop Cannon then, and there's a car off. There's Risky Racer's gone wide, and it's absolute chaos under the safety car. I think everyone's. I don't even know what's going on. So, we're actually going to go back with the front, though, because what are the front guys going to do? What is Machine Fisher going to do? What is Corey going to do? Obviously, only one Alfa Romeo can pit, so who's going to pit? That is the question. Obviously, Machine Fisher's not got that issue because his teammate's in 6th place. It's all to play for now. The mediums will not last till the end of the race. And let's actually have a look at who started where, shall we? So, Mr. Chiapelli started on the mediums. RoboJeep started on the mediums. Aidan Griffin started on the mediums. So Machine Fishy pits, Corey stays out, and Khalifa pits. So that is an interesting strategy there. Obviously, Machine Fish is going to hope, and everyone is pitting. So we're going to actually see, is Machine Fishy going to lose a lot of places? No, he's not. So a few people pitted, but not all that many, actually. So he's going to lose a few places at present, but he's still in P5 at present. So P6 now, but it's actually worked out pretty well for Machine Fishy. He's only got a few drivers. He's got Jean ahead, he's got Magic Buchanan, RoboJeep, and Mr. Chiapelli, of course. So, now, what is important, I think, for this race and for Machine Fishy now, is he needs to hope that Mr. Chiapelli, RoboJeep, Magic Poop Cannon, and Jean, they need to pit really soon. Because Machine Fishy, even though he's got a massive pace advantage over Jean, the cars in front, bar Corey in the lead, if he gets held up enough by the cars ahead, Corey can potentially, again, it's a very big ask. However, Corey's tyres will be better when he pits. Corey could pull enough of a gap when he, before everyone else pits, that when he comes out, he may only just either be ahead of Machine Fishy, or he may be not too far behind Machine Fishy. And the fact that Machine Fishy has gone onto those medium tyres, his tyres are going to be absolutely destroyed come the end of the race. It's as simple as that. There is no question about that. Tyre wear is not particularly great around Monaco. This safety car is going to help. I think the usual pits window is usually around lap 5, lap 6 as Martin. Obviously, Northlands has retired. So I'm not too sure. And there he is. He's on the right side. He's on the Jensen button. So I'm not too sure how he's managed to do that, to be honest with yourself. But the top 5 have decided to stay out. At the moment, of course, Mr. Chiapelli and RoboJeep, the front runners who haven't pitted, are on the medium. So they are probably going a long time in this race. They're probably going for maybe lap 10. I'd say actually longer than that. I'd say lap 12, 13, give or take. So it's going to be an interesting one to see. Yeah, what happens really? So we'll see. So, as I said, Monaco really provides excitement. Sometimes it's a very boring race, but the fact that there was massive carnage at exit turn 1. And you saw it perfectly on the stream as well, which is absolutely brilliant. is really spice this race up. You've got some fast guys a bit further back. And you've got different strategies in play as well. I mean, Ginger Annie's gone onto the hard tyres. He was asking my advice earlier on. About if the safety car came out so early on, what tyre should he do? Should he pit? Should he not? He has decided to pit, of course, which I don't really think he had a choice being so far back. He was hoping he'd be far up fighting for the win, but that did not happen after qualifying, of course. Qualifying P12. But yeah, the safety car is in this lap then. Safety car is in this lap, so we're going to get racing pretty soon. And here we go then. So we're actually going to go with Machine Fishy, shall we? Obviously Corey is in the lead, so he's probably going to just bolt. He's going to be right behind Jonas. Jonas has not pitted yet. He has, Machine Fishy will have the pace. However, it's Monaco. If you want to defend, chances are you're not getting this. Corey has bolted then. Mr. Chipley has gone with him. Rubber Jeep's a bit slow off the start. And here we go then. So, Machine Fish will be looking to get straight past Jean. However, it's not going to be an easy move at all then. He's obviously not going to be able to make a move into turn 1, of course. And actually, very late. Very late there. I think there was a slight tap. But he needs to be very careful, Machine Fishy, not to get any damage. Not to make any mistakes, of course. He's actually got Magic Poop Cannon. Oh, and this is dangerous. This is what I mean. You've got slow drivers ahead. And here we go then. And Machine Fishy up the inside of Jean. Is he going to go up the inside? Yes, he is. That is a very good move there. But now he's got to get past Magic Poop Cannon. Is he going to go up the inside? Or is he going to go slow? He's taking it easy. He's actually going up the inside. He's thinking about it. But he's very tight there. He needs to be very careful. And he doesn't make it stick, of course. But here we go then. He's going to go up the inside. He's up the inside. But that's a pretty bad camera angle. But he's done it. Magic Buchanan has got damage, so it's now going to be Jean's turn in a moment. Actually, Magic Buchanan's thinking about going back up the inside of him, obviously, or up the inside of his car, but he thinks better of it. And now it's Jean's turn. Obviously, he's got Khalifa right behind. Actually, Ginger Andy has got a penalty then. J-Luke has retired, so he's crashed at the, I think, on the exit of the tunnel at the chicane. So I think there's a wall that sticks out there, of course. But yeah, obviously good move from Magic, obviously, well, good defending really, I'd say, from Magic Buchanan, but he's missing half of his win. Corey does set the fast lap 11.8, of course. That is Jean does stay out. Magic Buchanan stays out, so this is really helping Machine Fishy, but it's also going to help Corey as well. The longer these guys get held up behind Magic Buchanan, it means Corey has got a slot to fit back into before, before these guys make his obviously settlement. I'm hearing Machine Fishy does have slight damage apparently. And yes, you can see on his left-hand side, or our left-hand side, his right-hand side, of course, he is missing part of his end plate. So you're trying to get past Magic Buchanan. He has damaged his wing, and actually getting a bit of a trolley train in behind. You've got P5 all the way down to probably P11. And Ginger Andy then, I think, has just lost a place to Kyle. So that's obviously not good for him. Here we go then, Jack Pearson and Andy. This is fighting for the final point. Actually, John then has got obviously up the inside of Magic Poop Cannon there, of course. So that is over. And now Magic Poop Cannon is losing place to Dan the Man as well. But now it's Khalifa's turn. Phil Barnwell and Paul McGuinness going side by side as well there. Obviously, Paul obviously slotting in behind Phil. Phil's got past there. Machine Fishy then. I'm actually hearing now Phil has got an illegal overtake on another car, so that's not good for him. But Machine Fishy then closing up on Robo Jeep. So that's very important there. And I'm actually hearing then there's a bit of contact going on behind, and there's a bit of contact there behind, and here we go then. Risky Racers getting overtaken by Jovial Manatee, but Machine Fishy then right behind Robo Jeep. Is he going to get him through this next set corners, or is he going to dive up the inside? He's thinking about it. He's thinking about not quite close enough, of course. He backs out of it. Very smart move again. There's no point risking anything, as it were. Obviously Dan has passed Jean in the background, so Dan up to P5, but this is the important battle at the moment. Again, second to last place. But here we go then. So Machine Fishy in, he's actually saving his earth, so I think Machine Fishy is playing the long game at the moment. However, let's have a look then. What is the interval to the leader? So Machine Fishy is 9 seconds behind Corey at this stage of the race. And he's not really pulling away as Corey in overall. You'd expect with Machine Fishy being bottled up behind Robo Jeep and having wing damage, you would really expect him to be massively pulling away. Obviously, it's very, very important to pull away as well, as Corey will have to overtake some of these cars, and he will have to try and overtake, obviously, Machine Fishy up the inside, then into turn 1. Oh, Robo Jeep thinking about turning in, but a very good move from Machine Fishy there, kept it clean, very easy there, and then Khalifa on Jean, obviously for the battle for P6, a good haul of points for these guys. Khalifa's wanting to make it up to his Alfa Romeo team after a very poor performance in America, obviously, with that, so very important that this obviously he gets more places as it were, but Aiden Griffin's right behind Paul as well then, and actually I think Paul may be under attacking. Oh, teammates there, I have not got going safety car, and that's actually going to hinder Corey. That is going to hinder Corey, I think, at the moment. However, Corey is going to be behind a lot of drivers when this safety car comes in, so Corey is going to probably, depending on where he comes out, of course, and obviously Dan the Man has sped under pit lane, or under the safety car, so that's not good for him. So Mr. Chiapelli, I think, is going to have to pit. I think Mr. Chiapelli should pit this lap for soft tyres. This is going to start probably lap 9, or even, it's difficult. It's up to him, of course. He does come in, and he's probably going to change his and repair his wing, of course. Machine Fishy, of course, stays out. Corey is in the pits, and he's coming out now. So Machine Fisher then. And actually, this has actually allowed Corey to come out second. So everyone behind him is actually pitted again. So after all of that, Corey didn't lose anything. I was expecting Corey to really lose a lot of positions because a lot of people have already pitted under the safety car. So he would have to overtake probably 6, 7, 8 drivers, but they've all pitted again, clearly. So well. And going back to that incident, Jack Pearson was getting out of the way, off the racing line, so that another car can come through. Aiden was unsighted, because obviously there's a little ridge down that straight, so you naturally swerve right and then left. Aiden was unsighted by the car ahead, and he didn't see his own teammate sitting there. So, and Aiden has left the session, so Aiden was not happy, should I say, with his teammates. So, those teammates have not been playing nice most of the season. Jack Peterson's getting very annoyed at Aiden for Aiden saying he's not doing very well in the team and Jack needs to improve his pace. Jack's getting very frustrated with that, and that's what happens as well. These sort of incidents. One driver doesn't think, one driver who thinks something else is happening, and that sort of thing can happen there. And of course, that crash, as we saw on the stream as well, his front right wheel got ripped off, so Aiden was instantly out of that race thanks to his teammates. So, and I'm going to say as well, actually. So Aiden Griffin's left me in the Renault as a teammate for Jack Pearson. I bet he's regretting that now. I bet he's really regretting that, even though I'm commentating this season because the wheel is absolute trash. So I think, yeah, I think that's as I say, Monaco can be very spicy, and it's really, really proving to be spicy this season at least. So I definitely think as well, next season, Aiden and Jack will not be teammates. There's probably a lot of debriefing and sort of windows being smashed at the motorhome tonight. I'm sure. I am definitely sure of that. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, obviously at the moment then. But at the moment then, obviously Machine Fishy is in the lead. He is on older mediums by 6 laps compared to Corey, and Machine Fishy does have wing damage. Now, Machine Fishy, best strategy he can do at the moment is purposely drive slow. I don't mean too slow that people are going to crash, of course. However, slow enough in the middle of the circuit so that Corey, one, cannot use his pace advantage over obviously Corey. Obviously, Corey's going to have a pace advantage over Machine Fishy, should I say. And safety car is in this lap, so we're going to stay with the front, of course, because this is going to be an intense battle to the end. That is obviously for certain. But Corey needs to get past Machine Fishy. If the race finished like this, though, they would be level on points again. So it's imperative that Machine Fishy, defends. I'm not saying brake test anyone, go slow through the corners. Ensure that the person on the faster tyres is... And Corey has got a penalty, a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Machine Fisher. That's not going to help him. And the fact that there's... I mean, it's halfway through the race. If Corey does not pull a massive gap on the cars behind, he's going to be dropping a lot of points. So I think Machine Fishy... I don't think it was on purpose, of course. I don't think he would do that. I think it would be a shame if he did. However... you know, I think it's very important that Machine Fishy is still not going to have the pace on Corey, of course, with those worn tyres and damaged wing. He needs to sit it in the middle of the circuit, purposely go slightly slow enough that the car behind can't use his fresh tyres, obviously on acceleration, and ensure that now, especially with Corey having that 5-second penalty, if Machine Fishy holds him up, he's not going to be able to, you know, finish second, really, because everyone else is going to overtake, really. But here we go then. The front two, Corey is already closing down on Machine Fishy. Machine Fishy just needs to keep it clean and tidy and make sure he's smiley at the end of the race as well if he does it perfectly. It's going to be a bit of Mansell versus Senna at Monaco. I think it was 1992, I believe. Obviously, I think so. I'm not too sure. I wasn't born then. I was born in 1994. But here we go then, and you can see the speed that Corey has compared to Machine Fishy. It's a massive closing, obviously on the brakes, because again, Machine Fishy can't slow down enough, really. But again, Machine Fishy, slow it up, ensure that Corey cannot get past, because as soon as Corey gets past, he is going to be pulling away, I think, probably about 3 to 4 tenths a sector. And look at this, look how quick as Jack Pearson has retired. I think he's had enough in the pits, of course, and he's probably going to be very... unhappy when it comes to the debrief with Aiden. I think there'll be a lot of books flying, a lot of laptops flying at his head probably. But here we go then. So obviously Corey is on the pad. I think Machine Fishy, I think he's on a wheel. I'm not 100% sure. And they're actually both pad actually. So it is a fair fight at the hairpin. So no one's getting any sort of advantages there. But here we go then. So Machine Fishy doing all he needs to at the moment. See again, 4 laps. 19 laps, should I say, remaining. And Khalifa even, is not far behind there. And Kyle as well. And is he thinking about it? Not quite. Again, Corey needs to be very careful not to corner cut these chicanes. Obviously, Machine Fishy going very defensive, of course. Obviously, not going to get round there, Corey, my friend. Not going to get round the outside of that corner. But here we go. The DRS is not open as of yet. It's not been activated. It will be this lap, though. There we go. DRS is enabled now. So this next lap, he will have a bit of an attack, I'm sure, but is he going to be close enough? And there we go, up the hill we go. Is Machine Fishy going to think about the upside, inside? No, he doesn't, of course. Machine Fishy just taking his normal racing line where he needs to, getting very close there. Machine Fishy needs to go defensive. He does, perfect there, perfect. Doesn't go defensive, bit of contact there. That's allowed a bit of a gap to open up. Obviously, Machine Fishy not able to, you know, pull away, of course, but Corey isn't able to attack as well. Now Khalifa is catching up on these two as well. So here we go then. This is going to be very important into this braking zone. He's right behind him, Corey is. Machine Fishy needs to stay defensive. You know, again, if he wants to corner cut, and he's going up the inside, and Machine Fishy there, and you know, Machine Fishy now gets a 3-second penalty for corner cutting there, but you know, he didn't go defensive. I think that was Machine Fishy's own fault. However, if the race finishes like this, Khalifa's going to win. If it finishes like this, of course. Obviously, I don't think Machine Fishy will know that Corey has a 5-second penalty. But again, all he needs to do, as long as he finishes ahead of you know, Corey, it's gonna benefit him really. But the worse these two finish, the less points they're gonna get. But you know, Machine Fishy needs to finish a lot higher than Corey to ensure that he gets maximum points and closes that gap and levels it or pulls ahead. But as things stand at the moment, you know, stand at the moment, they're all going to be level on points. But that's if they finish 1-2. Now I'm hearing Jean is getting very frustrated once again. So Jean losing his temper in this race, which is, you know, Jean does lose his head very, very easily in these races. I think Phil is a very calming force in that team at the moment. Obviously, Phil has always been a good teammate to have when it comes to just staying focused there. Obviously, Corey not close enough at the moment to have another look, but Khalifa not really closing the gap, but Carl is closing the gap. Carl is really closing the gap on Khalifa in P4, so I think Carl will be wanting a podium from this race, of course. But it's very close. We're obviously halfway through, just over halfway through this race. So yeah, I think at the moment, even though Machine Fishy is holding up Corey, Khalifa's not closing in on these two either. So it's pretty safe at the moment for these two. But again, they're not going to finish here if the gap remains like this. So the field is getting very spread. It is the top, 6 drivers, and then a massive gap from Phil Bardwell to Paul of 4.5 seconds. But here we go then, Khalifa, or even Corey, thinking about, I can't even pronounce who's who now these days. But there we go, Machine Fishy again is doing all he needs to. I think Machine Fishy does need to just stay defensive out of the tunnel, because that is the one best opportunity where Corey is going to dive up the inside. And again, if Machine Fish tries to hold it around the outside like he did last lap, he's going to end up caught in the corner and he's going to get another penalty. So he needs to be very careful here. But Machine Fishy not even having to go defensive that time. Corey not quite close enough. And Khalifa's lost another 2 to 3 tenths of that sector as well. So Khalifa does not have the pace at the moment to keep ahead of these guys. And Khalifa was the favourite going into this race in the dry, at least for qualifying. But it hasn't panned out like that. And oh, he's pushing him around that corner there. And again, Machine Fishy taking it very slow. And I think Machine Fishy, what Machine Fishy really needs Corey to do is make a mistake and get damaged wing himself, because that will cost him a lot, or potentially bin it. If Machine Fishy wins somehow, and Corey bins it, that's going to be a massive, obviously title fight. It's going to be massive to Machine Fishy. And here we go then. Machine Fishy going defensive yet again. Obviously Corey not quite close enough to do anything there. I think Corey's best opportunity. Oh, bit of lag there. I'm not sure what happened there. Also, I don't know if that was on anyone else's screen. But yeah, a bit of lag there. But that has allowed Machine Fish to pull a bit more of a gap, 6 tenths. So he's not going to be close enough there on this lap. And at the moment then, so Machine Fish has a 3-second penalty. Khalifa is a 1.5 behind at the moment. So Machine Fishy needs to gain another 1.5 to ensure that he gets the win. So I think it's looking tight. It is looking very, very tight indeed. But I think Khalifa will probably win thanks to lack of penalties at this stage. But Corey then 5 tenths behind. Obviously both level on points as it stands at the moment, but whether they finish like that after this race is a complete mystery. And Corey's got another penalty, so that's going to be not helpful for him. He's really pushing, Corey he's really pushing, try and get through, but he's pushing way toward. Again, it's very easy. I think it's a lot easier around Monaco than any other circuit. If you're right behind someone, you can't see the apex, and he's thinking about it around the outside there, but not quite. And this is allowing Khalifa to really gain on these two yet again. Obviously, Khalifa, obviously only 6 tenths now behind. Obviously, this group at the front. So here we go then. Obviously, I think a lot of people are struggling. Obviously, Dan the Man's actually down in 13th position. He was looking very good for a top 6, obviously up until the safety cars. So that's not good. Ginger Andy's actually up into P5, so Ginger Andy's hard tyres have been looking really, really good. But Khalifa's actually dropped back massively, obviously compared to last lap. He was right behind these guys. Last lap now is another 2nd behind. And obviously Kyle is another 2 seconds behind him. But Corey then has got DRS. He's not going to be close enough into turn 1, of course. He's going to weave just to try and show that he's there. No, he doesn't. He's purposely taken a bit more of a wide entry into the first corner to avoid the curb and avoid any more penalties. But at the moment, Machine Fishy will finish ahead of Corey, but neither of them are going to win the race as it stands. Obviously, lap 17 of 20. This is a very long race. It is a 25% race, just like the rest of them this season. However, because it's street circuit, there's more laps. It's a very short lap as well, so it feels like it goes on forever and ever. And the fact that a lot of people's tyres on the mediums will be struggling now, I think it's not good. I think at this point in time, the mediums and hards are probably going to be around the same pace. Obviously, Ginger Andy in 5th at the moment is 1.4 behind Kyle, and he is on the hards while Kyle is on the mediums, and the gap is staying roughly the same. So it'll be interesting to see on the last lap if that changes, or if Andy can really close a 2.5 gap. But Corey getting very aggressive on those curbs. Now again, he needs to be very careful. He does not want to get any more penalties. Oh, a bit of rear ending there from Corey, but again, You know, the car behind, it's his duty not to crash into the car in front, and he can't get past. And it's very, very good defensive driving from Machine Fishy. He's doing all he needs to. You know, he needs to do all he needs to. But his laps, I mean, his tyres even are 6 laps, 5 laps technically, older than Corey's at the moment. And you know, Machine Fishy does have wing damage, so he's doing fantastic at the moment. Machine Fishy again going defensive, just keeping it just in the middle. I think Machine Fishy is doing it just enough that Corey doesn't really expect or know where he wants to go. And look at that. You know, Corey cannot use those fresh tyres around that hairpin because Machine Fishy is in the way. He can't get around it any quicker because of that wing damage. So, yeah, it's proving very good. But is he going to have a go out of this this tunnel? I don't think it's close enough. No, he's not. We'll see. Again, Khalifa gaining very slowly, 7 tenths back now from this front 2. Carl has actually dropped back massively, and Ginger Andy then is closing at 8 tenths between Andy and Carl. Then again, Andy on the hards, and here we go. Then the front 2 is Machine Fishy going defensive again. Yes, of course he is. The only thing he can do is getting very tasty now again. Machine Fishy to hold on for another 2 and a bit laps, and Corey, they're getting very out of shape. That has allowed Khalifa to close up, and obviously Machine Fishy has a 7/10 buffer. But of course, as I keep saying, I don't think Khalifa has any penalties, so it's going to be interesting there. And obviously John and Mr. Chiapelli right behind each other. Obviously John really wanted to get back, of course. John in the final points position. He wants a few more points. Mr. Chiapelli though is on the hards at the front there. And here we go, back at the hairpin. Corey thinking about it yet again. Obviously pushing Machine Fishy around that hairpin. But again, this is what I'm talking about. I don't think Machine Fish is going very slow on purpose. However, it's actually going to be a lot closer this time. Machine Fish needs to go defensive. He needs to go defensive. He's not going defensive. What is he doing? And Corey then, makes light work. And actually, Corey's got another penalty. Corey's got another penalty there. So it's not working very good for Corey. However, now he's going to be gone. He's going to be gone. I think Machine Fishy, I don't know why he wasn't going defensive into that chicane, because it's possibly cost him more than it would Corey. Corey's going to pull away now, I'd say a couple of tenths allowed. There's only, a lap to go now, so it's not going to be a massive difference. However, I think if Machine Fishy had hold up Corey, it might have allowed Kyle then to finish ahead of Corey, but sadly I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Corey's going to have enough of a gap to still finish in P3, while Machine Fish is going to finish. Well, I think it's going to be Khalifa P1, Machine Fishy P2, and Corey P3. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It really is. With that, but Khalifa is right behind Machine Fishy now. It is the last lap though. Obviously, I think Khalifa's going to have a massive lunge, obviously out of this next corner, but I don't think he'll be quite close enough, to be honest with yourself. Yeah, I don't think he's definitely not close enough, to be honest. So I think, barring any more incidents in the final few corners, as Machine Fishy there, or Khalifa should I say, gets a bit out of shape, and yeah. There we go then. So Corey is going to cross the line in first, and I don't think Khalifa has any penalties as far as I am aware, so it may prove to be a Khalifa win after a relatively poor qualifying session. So here we go then. Across the line, Corey goes to finish in P1. Machine Fishy goes in P1, and now Khalifa, there we go then. So that is the top 3, and Kyle then just manages by less than a quarter of a tenth. Well, he finished right behind Machine Fishy as well, so a very interesting one there. But here we go then. Phil is in P6. Paul is going to come round in P7, but we're going to take a look to see, if Roy, obviously Jovial Manatees, and actually there's a little bit of a battle with John, obviously Mr. Chiapelli and Dan the Man side by side. It's only 3 wide. Oh, that was a bit of contact across the line there, but it was across the line, so no one cares. And yeah, Mr. Chiapelli loses that a lot there, but that was very interesting there. See Magic Boot Cannon across the line in at second class. He's very slow, so I think he's actually ran out of fuel. And yes, he has the fuel lights flashing on the bottom right. And then Speed Knight, and we'll come home, and actually Speed Knight overtakes Magic Boot Cannon across the line due to the fuel. So, as you can probably hear, my voice has absolutely had it. An interesting night's racing, especially at Monaco. I don't actually know the points because I'm terrible at maths, so you'll find them on our website, of course. with that. And yes, guys, TGP has a website. However, the final week is going to be two very interesting and very opposing circuits. You've got Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps, obviously a very fast and flowing circuit, followed then by the season finale, of course, at Abu Dhabi. Obviously, it's going to be very interesting just to see, really, sort of who can master both of those circuits. Spa's going to be a very interesting one, and there we go. There is your top three as the rest of everyone. So you got Khalifa P1, Machine Fishy, and actually Andy beat Corey as well. So Corey finished P5 after all of that. So that's going to help Machine Fishy quite a lot, I'd say. Obviously Khalifa is the winner of this race. Obviously Phil finished P6 after having a nightmare from P17, so that is very good for himself there. Jovial Manatee, yet again, no penalties, and I think it proved quite beneficial for him. Jean, after being very frustrated all race, comes home in the points. Dan the Man salvages P9 as well. Paul McGuinness, P10. I think from P10, he finished P10, he'll be happy with that. Roji P11, Mr. Cheapelli across the line with Jean and Dan the Man, 3 wide across the line. I think he'd be disappointed to get sort of no points after that race, but I think it was an absolutely fantastic obviously race there. But that is your racing for tonight. You have now got 1 week left of TGP1. Obviously it's going to be around 19 and 20. No Mexico this season. It's all to play for. The championship is going down to the wire for the Drivers' Championship. It's been the Soft Cop commentating yet again. Enjoy and stay safe.